Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, April 5th, 2024. Welcome to another eBay video. What a crazy, messed up day this has turned out to be. This morning at 10:30 or thereabouts, we had an earthquake. And if you saw my video earlier, you know about that, which is an extremely, highly unusual thing for this area. I live in northern New Jersey. Also, it has been cloudy and rainy every day of the week. We had a really bad storm the other night. There was flooding, there was trees down, there was power loss. It was just terrible. But guess what else happened just today at around 1 o'clock p.m.? Can you believe somebody left Cute Joey unfair negative feedback? Originally, when I was planning this video, I was not going to do any cutaways or screenshots. I was going to do everything out here right through, because I have a lot to talk about, but that's not possible now. So I'm going to basically tell you what happened, because the case is still up in the air. I'm very curious to see if I hear back from eBay by press time if they're going to agree to remove this feedback or not. First, I'll tell you orally what happened. Then I'm going to show you what happened, okay? So basically, orally, a couple of weeks ago, I had an item that was $45 plus $15 shipping. A buyer sent me a best offer. And the best offer was for $45, which is what I'm asking. And every time I get one of these meatballs, I know what's coming next. In the love notes section, it said free shipping. No, I will never do free shipping, for the simple reason I get way too many returns because buyers are stupid and they don't read their wheel size. And this is a perfect example of where I saved myself some coin. So, I immediately denied the offer. I wouldn't do it for any reason when they want free shipping. A couple of minutes later go by, the customer buys the item at full price, $45 plus $15 shipping. Okay? I ship it right out the next day, and he gets the item in 2 or 3 days, and he writes to me. And he starts the dancing and tells me it doesn't fit, that the item is too small for his wheel. And he produces a picture of his wheel. He's telling the truth, because in my listing, I have the measurements clearly listed, which I'll show you in a minute. He didn't bother to get off his duff and go measure his rim. No, he just went and bought them, couldn't use them, and files for a return. And the return reason was the truth: doesn't fit. Okay? He sends the items back. I got them back this morning, and I gave him the requested refund of $45. He wasn't even asking for the $15 back, because this was a buyer remorse return. Even if he had tried that, I wouldn't have given it to him, because it was on him. He made the mistake. But I gave him back what he wanted, the $45, and within minutes, I get a negative feedback saying one word. Do you want to guess what the word was? The word was thanks. Again, I'll show this to you in a minute or two. So, I contacted eBay through the automatic, or should I say the automated feedback removal system, and I explained my case. I said, this is on the buyer. He bought the wrong size. He didn't measure his rim. He admitted this in the return. I gave him back the money he wanted, $45, and he still left me negative. And they said, you'll hear from us within 8 hours. That was at approximately 1:30. I'm hoping to get this video up by 5 o'clock p.m., so I might not know by that time, but I'm going to have some screenshots to show you before then. So, without further ado, let's take a look at this particular case right now. Then we're going to come back and discuss more about eBay and negative feedback removal, or the lack thereof. Okay, guys, I'm going to walk you step by step through every aspect of this transaction, and I want you to see how unfair eBay has become to sellers. Here is the exact item that I got the negative feedback on today. These two Sunbeam Alpine dog dish hubcaps. Now, if you look over here, okay, I clearly say in the seller notes, caps measure 9 inches. See that? Then in the description, once again, caps measure 9 inches across. Any questions, just ask. So as I told you earlier, the meatball sends me a best offer of $45, even though that's exactly what I'm asking, but he doesn't want to pay the $15.96 in shipping, so I declined his offer. He immediately then purchased them anyway. I know some of you guys are probably going to say, well, Joe, you should have blocked him. Believe me, I didn't even have time. That's how quick it was. He gets the items, and here's the first message I get from him. Hello, I just got these items, but it looks like it doesn't fit on the steel wheels that I have. Could you please check and see if you have different ones? Otherwise, I have to send them back to you. Now, he followed that message up with, first and second picture is your parts, and the third is what I have. So let's go back. This is what I sent him. Okay, you can see it doesn't quite fit over the hub of the wheel. There's a close-up picture. See, right there? Because mine are 9 inches, and he needs a larger size. That's his. If you have really good eyes, you're going to notice they're different. A slightly different design on the outside, and also his appeared to be concave on the inside, where mine protrude out. See how it looks different? I'm going to go back to his one more time. See the difference? Okay? Difference in style and difference in size. But the mistake was his. So I wrote back and I said to him, you should have measured your wheel before you made the purchase, because I had the measurements in the listing. That being said, you can go right ahead and send them back. Just open a return request and say purchased by mistake, and you can print out the label and ship them back to me. It's very easy. And of course, he wrote back, please take a look to see if you have something different. If not, please send me shipping label to send them back to you. Thanks. No, we don't send shipping labels. That's up to the buyer. But okay. He sends them back to me, and look what I get. I get a negative feedback from this guy today. And the feedback consists of one word, and the word is thanks, right there. See it? Look, thanks. One word, negative feedback and thanks. So I then went to use eBay's automated tool to remove the feedback, which you can see here. This acknowledges it. And let me tell you exactly what I said right here. The buyer made a mistake and purchased the wrong size. In his return request, he admitted he purchased the wrong size and showed pictures as well. He asked for a refund of the purchase price, which I gave him. He then left me negative feedback even though I did nothing wrong at all. Please remove this feedback as this mistake was his, not mine. So yeah, that is the situation, folks. That is exactly what happened to me today. As of the filming of this video, the negative is still up. But again, I'm not sure how long it's going to take. eBay says it could take up to 24 hours for this to get removed. See? And they'll notify me both email and I guess through the eBay contact system. I can guarantee you something though, folks. If this feedback does not get removed for cause, you will see another video from me within 24 to 48 hours. I give you my word. I may even put one out if they do remove it, because it's out of freaking hand. how buyers are abusing the feedback system, and eBay is turning a blind eye to it. Even if they do remove this feedback, I can guarantee you they're not going to sanction the bad buyer. The only way there's any chance of this ever stopping is if we, the sellers, get together and expose this kind of thing. Guys, you've got to grow a pair. You've got to assert yourself and stand up for what's right. I've been reading all the comments in the Facebook groups again this week, and 98% of the people agree with me, but there are 2% out there who are what I'm going to call marshmallows. Okay? They're soft. They'll say something like, well, feedback doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't go by that. Well, you're wrong. You're wrong, and your attitude disgusts me. You make me sick. The eBay algorithm does, in fact, pick up on negative feedback, and it will put you lower in search. So don't say that, because it's not true. I know what I'm talking about. Secondly, if you've done nothing wrong, you shouldn't have to take a negative feedback. And if you can prove you've done nothing wrong, like I have here, well then, guys, fair is fair and right is right. So yeah, now that I've showed you what happened to me today, let's get back to the video. Guys, would you please give me your honest opinion as to what you think of that eBay buyer who left me the unfair negative feedback? I did nothing wrong. I had the dimensions clearly listed in the listing. He obviously got the item that he purchased. It didn't fit. He made a mistake. He admitted it wouldn't fit, and he still left me negative feedback. Will eBay remove this feedback? I sure hope so. But let's think positively. Let's say they do. Don't you think they should sanction this guy for misuse of the feedback system? Years ago, eBay said there'd be checks and balances in place to be sure that buyers did not abuse the feedback system. I can look you in the face and tell you there are no checks and balances in place. I've seen much worse than this person. But when it affects my account, it upsets me greatly, especially when I've done nothing wrong. I can remember back in the old days when selling on eBay was fun. Sure, you ran into a hiccup now and then. Things happened. No site is perfect. But you rolled with it, and things for the most part went okay. But the last year and a half on eBay, in my opinion, have been hell. It's no fun to sell on eBay anymore. Selling on eBay Motors can be hazardous to your mental health. And I say that with all sincerity. Now, there's still money to be made. Don't get me wrong. You're not going to lose money. There's still a lot of money to be made. But the aggravation is just through the roof now. And I just have to come out and tell you how I feel about this. It's not good. I don't see it getting any better. I am certain that the hierarchy at eBay knows exactly what's going on and what they're doing. And they're doing it for a reason. For one thing, as we discussed in previous videos, and you guys seem to agree, they're thinning out the employment force. Less mouths to feed means more profit for the bigwigs. And the buyers know it. The buyers know they can literally abuse you in Macy's window and get away with it. And they're not wrong. They're not wrong. And don't think that what's happening to me at eBay Motors is unusual. No, not at all. In fact, it's happening a lot worse to others. I'm just more vocal about it than others. I have a friend of mine who had 2 cancellations this week. Well, actually, one was a return, one was a cancellation, but both for the worst possible reason. I thought I was getting all four instead of just one. Meanwhile, the picture clearly shows one. The listing says one. The description says one. And the price with shipping or thereabouts was about 50 bucks. Any reasonable man knows you cannot get four factory original Ford hubs with shipping for 50 bucks. It doesn't happen. This is not utopia. But no big deal. It's part of selling online. Many of you guys wrote in last week saying that the feedback system is antiquated and it needs to either be retooled or dumped altogether, and I totally agree with you. First thing, I don't think they should even have it as such. They have to get rid of neutral. Neutral serves no purpose with the exception of leaving a negative connotation. Meaning if someone leaves you a neutral feedback, that implies they weren't quite happy about something. Am I right or wrong? Neutral's got to go. No matter what happens, neutral's got to go. I'm not even fond of positive or negative as such, but if the buyers wanted to write a comment expressing their happiness or displeasure, I don't have a problem with that, but there would be no rating. There'd just be a comment section. Item arrived as described. Thank you very much. Or in some cases, item took a long time to get here. Or whatever they want to write. But even if they said it took a long time to get here, which is not your fault for the most part, it wouldn't count against you. Oh my God, this feedback system. And please, guys, like I said earlier in the video, you're going to get some naysayers that say feedback doesn't matter, it doesn't come into play. Either they work for the system or they're outright liars, in my opinion. You have to decide what they are. You know that the eBay algorithm picks up negative feedback and pushes you lower in search, okay? Plus, it just doesn't look good, especially if it's not your fault. I mean, if you send somebody something and it arrives broken and you refuse to help the buyer out, well then maybe you do deserve an egg. Or if you don't even send anything or wait 2 weeks to send something, then maybe you do deserve an egg. But if something happens that's not your fault, like the buyer buys the wrong size sweater, well, that's not your fault, and eBay should protect you, and they're just not doing it. They used to do it. They used to do a pretty damn good job of it. Not lately. It's all out war on sellers. If you're an eBay seller, you're an endangered species, okay? Well, I think I've gone on long enough today. I just wish I had some positive things to report. But I have vowed when I started these videos that I would report the news as it happens, and that's what I'm going to goddamn do, okay? I will report to you what happens whether you like it or not. Too bad, all right? That being said, I'm Crazy New York Driver. You're not. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment on any topics I covered or an eBay topic of your own. I hope you make some eBay sales, and I hope you don't get too many unwarranted negative feedbacks. Rock on and peace. Hold it, everybody. I've got a quick update for you. I have just received a communication from eBay, and they have refused to remove the unwarranted negative feedback. So, I guess you could say, game on. How the Christ that does not violate policy is beyond me. I did nothing wrong. You know something? It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh how eBay cares so little about its sellers. Guys, you know me. I've been a champion of not only sellers, but selling on eBay for years. I've always been there. And I look you in the eye and I tell you I've never seen it so bad as it is now. All right? The only advice I could possibly give each and every one of you is continue listing your items. In fact, if possible, list more. List more, because I think the golden goose is going to go the way of the trolley. There is no way eBay can sustain itself treating its sellers this way. Please, for Christ's sake, list your stuff as soon as possible. And if somebody makes you a reasonable offer, like $80 on something you want $100, please take the offer, if possible. Take the offer, take the money, because the golden goose is going the way of the trolley. And you heard it here, right here, on the Crazy New York Driver Show on April 5th, 2024. eBay cannot sustain itself with its scumbag attitude towards sellers. We are not the enemy. We're the guys that pay to list and sell on this site. Have a good night.